Hi guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and I'm doing another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending December 26th, 2016. This is episode number 75 of the recap, and it's the day after Christmas edition. I hope everyone enjoyed their Christmas. I personally stuffed my face at a casino buffet and came home to a carb coma. Fun times. But anyway, the first bit of news this week, perhaps the biggest, comes from Square Enix regarding Final Fantasy XIV. FanFest Japan just happened this last weekend, and with it comes some huge news for the game's latest expansion, Stormblood. It was revealed that June 20th, 2017 is the game's tentative release date, with pre-orders opening on January 24th. With the new expansion comes a boatload of content, namely an increased level cap up to 70, a brand new class, the Red Mage. The Red Mage was previously speculated about after Las Vegas FanFest, but it wasn't confirmed up until now. And unlike other classes, it does seem like the Red Mage is starting off at level 50. The new level cap as well as the new class is a big deal because the game uses its multi-classing system, so every character can play every single class. So it adds a tons of new content to the game. To get level 70 on every character class will take forever, so it is a huge update. And beyond that, there's a lot more, including new content zones, a new beast tribe, new water zones, and much, much more. I've been playing Final Fantasy, so I am definitely excited for the update. Looking forward to it. Up next, an interesting bit of industry news from Super Data Research. They released a pretty interesting report this last week, and the most interesting headline, in my opinion, was free-to-play MMOs have 92% of the MMO market players and generate 87% of the revenue. It does show how massive free-to-play games have become, though it is worth mentioning their definition of MMO includes games like League of Legends, World of Tanks, and Crossfire. But strictly on the MMORPG front, games like Dungeon Fighter Online, for example, have still made more money this year than massive juggernauts like World of Warcraft. So free-to-play is winning on the MMORPG front as well, not just the MMO front. And the next chart over here just shows you how massive the market is and how quickly it's still growing. It's also worth saying that Asia is by far the biggest market for free-to-play PC games. Just look how big the market in Asia is compared to every other region. Up next, a bit of news for Black Desert Online. The game's final pair of awakenings are officially live. The Witch and Wizard have awakened this last week. So it looks like Kakao did live up to their promise of getting all the awakenings out by the end of the year. Also, in related Black Desert Online news, I wanted to say we did give Black Desert Online the MMOs.com MMORPG of the Year award. If you want to see the full list of MMOs.com Game of the Year awards, do check it out on MMOs.com, link in the description. There really wasn't too much competition for the 2016 MMORPG of the Year award, so it was kind of an easy win for BDO. Next up, a bit of huge news from Turbine. The company behind Lord of the Rings Online and DDO is handing off development of both of their games to a newly formed independent company called Standing Stone Games. This new indie studio is made up of former Lord of the Rings Online and DDO developers, so not too much should change behind the game. It just has a new publisher and a new developer. And the new developer is Daybreak Games. So yes, Daybreak Games will publish Lord of the Rings Online and DDO, but the developers of the game will remain the same. The same people that worked on it before will be working on it now, but just under a new banner of Standing Stone Games. So Turbine is giving up on PC MMORPGs. In related news, Asherons Call, another game developed and published by Turbine in the past, is officially shutting down later in January. And this is pretty big news because Asherons Call has been running for 17 years, which makes it one of the oldest MMORPGs that was still in service, but that's all coming to an end on January 31st, 2017. What makes this even more unfortunate, though, is that the developers of the game have been teasing private server tools for their player base for a long time now. They promised that they would release private servers and the tools required to make private servers to their community, but they never lived up to that promise. And that was promised over a year ago, so it's just a giant slap in the face of the game's player base. And understandably, a lot of people were upset about this. So the game will be shutting down for good on January 31st, 2017 with no private servers. Rest in peace, Asherons Call. Next up, a small update for Warframe from Digital Extreme. The game launched a brand new Warframe called Knights, as well as introduced several new weapons to the game, as well as a new quest line. The update itself is dubbed The Glass Gambit, and it launched just in time for the Christmas weekend. And for those curious, Warframe is still dominating the charts on Steam. It gets over 40,000 concurrent users, which is absolutely incredible. It's one of the most successful free-to-play games in the West. In fact, it is the second most popular free-to-play game on all of Steam after Dota 2 and Team Fortress 2. Next up, a bit of news for Dark and Light. The game is still launching sometime in Q1 2017, but the developer Snail Games revealed some information about the game's character creation system. Players will apparently be able to customize their characters quite a bit. In fact, they say that they're aiming to create a world in which no two characters look the same. They didn't release a video showing the character creator itself, but if you go to the Dark and Light website, they do show some screenshots and it looks quite in-depth. If you're not familiar with Dark and Light, it is going to be a survival game. It will be buy to play, and it looks quite promising, but we'll have to wait till we get our hands on it before we judge. Moving right along, a bit of a reminder, Revelaiton Online Closed Beta 2 is officially live. You still need a closed beta key to access it. However, if you do get a closed beta key in CBT1, you're still good to go. You can just log in and play. Keep in mind though, the Russian version of the game launched the open beta yesterday. So given how far along the Russian version of the game is, I suspect the Western version, the English version, should be launching the open beta relatively soon as well. If I had to guess, sometime in January. And again, if you didn't get a key yet, don't worry too much. The game is still going to be wiped at the end of Closed Beta 2, which ends sometime on January 3rd. I'm personally waiting to play an open beta because I don't like seeing my character wiped, but I'll have to wait until then. Moving right along, a bit of news for a side-scrolling MMORPG that is not MapleStory. This time we got news for LaTale. The game launched a Demigod update this last week, which allows players to start out as monks, which can later advance to Battle Lords and Avengers before eventually becoming demigods. The update also adds 2 new zones to the game intended for players level 210 and higher. All in all, there'll be over 120 new quests in the game, as well as new drops and a bunch of other goodies. It is a huge update for LaTale, and I'm pretty sure LaTale is the biggest game OG Planet currently publishes. And as with any big update, there are some events going on too, so check those out. Moving right along, a bit of news for Dragon's Nest. The game's second Awakening update is officially live, which gave academics and clerics a chance to unlock their new Awakening skills. So yes, start Awakening skills in Dragon's Nest as well. And keep in mind, Nexon stopped publishing Dragon Nest a while ago. It's been taken over by the game's developer, Identity Games. And as with any other update, there are a few other small changes as well. See the full patch log on dragonnest.com to learn more. Moving right along, an update for Allods Online. Yes, another one. Despite the game being somewhat obscure in the West, it's still doing pretty well in Russia. The game's official 8.0 update, called Immortality, went live on the Western service this last week. Our biggest update includes a new race, the Eidos, as well as new astral allies that can be explored starting at level 23, as well as some new story quests. Do keep in mind though, in order to play the new race, the Eidos, you do need to have a level 70 character, so it's basically for veterans only at the moment. The next and last bit of news this week comes from War Thunder, and the only real news is that the game dropped its beta designation from its title, so now it's not War Thunder Beta, it is just War Thunder. The game is officially live. We view most open betas as launched anyway, but it is an official launch now for War Thunder. It's worth mentioning the game has been open beta for about 3 years now, but yeah, it's live, and with the live update comes a bunch of new Japanese vehicles for players to enjoy. And on top of the new vehicles, there's also 2 new maps, as well as a bunch of other small goodies. The game now has about 800 vehicles, which is definitely pretty impressive. But yeah, guys, that's it for MMO News this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later, guys.